Hi, it's me again, and today let's talk about project template. What is a template and why you might need it? A template is a pre-saved setup of your workflow. It helps you organize your project, keep all instruments around you in order, and saves your time. As a composer, sound designer, or mixing engineer, you can think of template as a workplace of an artist or a crafter. As an artist, when you're working, you need all your brushes, paints and palettes around you, so you can grab them with one move. And if you catch the right moment or perfect light, you won't waste time searching and preparing. Same with crafters. When you develop something, you need all your hammers, screwdrivers and other tools around you, so you can focus on idea and the process. That's why if music and sound design are your craft and you work on them every day, no matter if you work with equipment or completely in the box, you have to have a template that helps you focus on ideas and creative process. And I'm gonna show you my template, the one I've been making for the last 10 years since I started working in REAPER. First, when I open REAPER, it asks me what I want, create a new project or open some recent projects. As you can see, I have a default project right here. So whenever I create a new project, it's always gonna be the same preferences. Let's do it. Next, I'm gonna make sure that I checked this. It means REAPER will create a folder for the project, and all media, backups, renders will be in this folder. And this means that every audio file, sample or impulse will be copied to the media folder within this project. So no matter what happens with the audio sources in the future, their copies will be here and I'm not losing them. Let's call it template and move on. This is a project settings window I get every time I create a new session. Because depending on the job, I might change something. I work in 96, so I almost never change that. And yeah, I hear the difference, but if I have a big project, this sample rate can make me crazy. The sound worth it though. If you're gonna write something like, no, there is no difference, use oversampling, whatever man. Just take your time, it's part of a journey. Here you can name the folder where REAPER will copy all sources, I never changed that either. Here I can change the frame rate depending on the video I receive or make. In this tab I can set the limit for the timeline of my project, depending on the source, material, length. Also you can change the pen law here. I use 3dB because around 8 years ago I read that this is how NIF consoles work with penning, so I set it like that and almost never change it. If you don't know what pen law is, check it, it might change your mixing process a lot. Okay, move on, press OK and here is my project. First, as you can see, I have my master track right here and it already has frequency analyzer, loudness meter, and sound ID reference bypassed. Also, I have 3 inactive plugins, 2 different emulation of studio rooms by Acoustic Audio, which I use when I work in headphones, and REAPER built-in multiband, which I use as a microscope. I mean, when I need to isolate some frequency range of the whole track and listen to it, I turn it on and check solo current band. This is really good technique to find conflicts and understand how different elements work with each other across frequencies. Let's take a look at the timeline. As you can see, I have some empty space before the track actually starts at 0. This is really useful. For example, you could collect here the one-shots of samples or sounds and use them on the actual timeline whenever you want. You could notice that when I create a new track, I already have rear EQ and relay. That's because I wanna get the basic instrument as fast as possible. So when I need an EQ, I don't wanna go here and search for this folder and then find rear EQ. No, I wanna have it right from the beginning. And also I want to keep REAPER's faders on default so I can use them for automation later. For balancing and setting levels, I use relay. But we will get back to the plugin later. Now I want to tell you about hotkeys. I use almost the whole keyboard for mixing. For example, numbers from 1 to 8 open a plugin at the same slot. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Shift plus 1, 2, 3 bypassed a plugin at the same slot. Option plus plus number plus 1 plus 2 makes it offline. 9 opens the whole FX chain, and 0 bypassed all plugins. S solo, A mute, F create a new track, Q split, etc. For me, hotkeys are one of the most important part of your template. Identify the actions you do most and put them on your keyboard. You can't even imagine how much time you will save. Another important thing that can save you a lot of time is coloring. It's always a good practice to color your tracks so you can keep things organized. For example, in my template, Reaper changes track colors depending on their names. If I rename tracks as kick 1, kick 2, snare, snare 2, head, bass, guitar drive, guitar gist, guitar solo. Alright, same rule works for regions. This region is intro, this one is verse, this is chorus. Now I just put some track separators and I've got a quite organized project in less than a minute. Now let's take a look at the toolbars. If you're familiar with Reaper, you might know what this does. Now I move only one item, now I move all of them on this track, and now I move all items on all tracks. Cool. These are default grid options and the metronome. This button here turns on pre-roll for recording. Like if I turn it on, recording starts 2 bars before. This turns on a free item position on the track. This freezes all track with all effects in mono. This does the same in stereo, and here is the unfreeze button, of course. Reverse. This calls a submenu with spectral view for an item. This button shows automation curves. If I have a stereo file but I need it in mono, with these buttons I can do it fast. Take only left channel or right, or sum the source to mono. These 2 buttons do a really important job. Let's say I have an instrument here and I haven't finished the arrangement yet, but I'm almost sure I'm not gonna change this track. In this case, I can select the item, press this, and Reaper will render it to WAV file, processing only the first slot in the chain. In this case, it's FM8. And no matter what I put after this slot, EQ, distortion, whatever, it will render only with the first slot. So now I can make FM8 offline and free my CPU. But if I need to make changes, I can bring it back, update the part, and do it again. Okay, that's about services and workflow. Now let's see the instruments. As I said, templates help you focus on the creative process. And as an artist, you want to have all your instruments in colors within one move distance. And let's say you got a cool idea for a melody or beat. You create a new track, search for massive. Where is this freaking massive? Okay, here we go. Oops, doesn't play. Yeah, I need to change input to MIDI and name it synth. So I already forgot what the melody was. Not an option. But my template allows me to do it much faster. I'm just go to template, synth, massive, and it's here. All I need to do is arm record and start playing. Or if I need drums, I can call them from templates too, and I've got my drum set already organized and routed to separate channels for the future processing. All I need to do is play or put a MIDI loop on the track. Same thing with bass, piano, orchestral set with all MIDI curves, etc. Also, Reaper allows you to save alternative naming for piano roll. As you can see, I have these labels on MIDI notes for this drum kit, and I can load them from this menu. Same for this violin. It has a lot of articulations, so I saved labels for them on piano roll, and I can select them fast, not wasting my time and losing ideas trying to remember which note turns some articulation on. I did it for all orchestral libraries. So again, identify instruments and libraries you use, set them up how you need, and save as a template. It might take a lot of your time, but it will save a lot of your time and creative process in the future. Now let's talk about panes and take a look at this toolbar. Here I have plugins I use as starters, same rear EQ and relay, some channel strips, some SSL emulations, preamps, etc. I use them very often, that's why they're here. In these tabs I got different categories of plugins, so again, if I need something, I don't waste time searching for them. In this tab I have all the instruments I use as an alternative way to get them. Here I have everything about guitar, tuner, stomps, and amp emulations. Next, I have saturators, distortion, tape, and other stuff that brings harmonics. In the next tabs, I have all EQs and compressor I use. Here I have all choruses, phasers, flangers, and pitch shifters. In this tab, I have all delays and reverbs. In master tab, I have everything about mastering: bass compressors, clippers, limiters, or zone. And in the last tab I've got acoustic audio plugins. I love them and I use them a lot, so I put them on a separate tab to get them quickly. So this is my default project template that provides quick access to everything I need for different tasks, whether it's composing, arranging, or sound design. It took a lot of time to create and set it all up. When I started working in Reaper 10 years ago, I just assigned some hotkeys, and then it grew into this massive template. I changed it 4 or 5 times and I'm still updating it. The good thing is Reaper allows you to save your config and bring it to another machine. So I can't promise you it's fast and easy thing to do, but I can promise that if you spend a day or 2 or maybe a week organizing and creating your own template, you'll save a lot of time in the future, and it will increase your creativity, keeping your head focused. That's it. If you have any question, write them in the comments and I'll be happy to help you create your own template. See you.